Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Right, I have another Bedford. This is the Bedford QLR wireless truck. It's made by IBG models. It's 1/35 scale, and I bought this one because I liked it, and that's it. And also, I like Bedfords. As normal, there's not much going on the outside of the box. Only this really nice, what would you say, CAD drawing? Nice. I don't know what you'd actually call it. I just like these pictures. They're just, just like I said in the last one. It just takes me back to when I was young, and this is the way boxes came. Just straightforward, simple. Anyway, we'll open it up and we'll have a look. Well, we have one workshop manual, which we will go into detail in a second. We have one clear sprue, and then we have four sprues in 2 bags. I'll open them up and we'll have a look. We have some decals, decals, transfers, or stickers, whichever one you would like to call them, because I don't want to upset anybody. Right, typical IBG workshop manual, very nice, large, which I do like, especially if you've got failing eyesight like me. Sprue map on the front, this time no grey areas, so all the glass is going to be used. First 2 pages is the set out of the sprues. There's a couple of grey areas, just showing you that these parts won't be used. 2 and 3, we have another set out of the sprue maps. No grey areas this time, so that's good. As per normal, it's a very straightforward, and the chassis are all the same, so there's no sort of like difference between all the Bedfords. The chassis are the same, just a different back. That's it. That was a great thing about the Bedfords. Right, we're starting off with the wheels. Like I said, they're 2-piece wheels. They go together nice. Seam line sands off very easily. Assembly of the radiator, the back tow hitch, the roof with the, I call it gun port, in assembly. Then we go across and then we start on the engine, which is very nice and easy to do. Like I say, I've done these. I like it, like I've always said, that they do them in like little units that you actually put all together to make the one big part. Right. As for the glass, if you're going to paint the interior, I don't put the glass in until last. And my choice of gluing them in is that the glue and glaze by Deluxe material, extremely good. Doesn't leave marks all over the glass when you put it in. And I'm doing a bit of punting here, and if you do have problems with scratches with glass, this by AK glass coat, fantastic stuff. If you've got small marks on your bits of clear, dip it into that and they're gone. Right, enough for that. Right, step 9, we've got them putting the seats in for the cab. All these little parts, they're all nice. Put them all in. It does look good because you can see through these windows. You can see the interior, so you can sort of dress it up a little bit. Seats, back panel. Now, a little suggestion here is when you do the back panel, is to do actually try and dry fit them all to start off with, and follow the instructions. Quite a few times I've done it and I ended up with gaps on the sides of the doors just down the bottom here, and it's been my fault because I've not put the one door in first and the two sides, front and the back. So that's just a little tip there, and if you do it the way they show you, it works. It does. Onto the little bull bar at the front and the support brackets. These are really nicely detailed. When you get them all together, they do look really nice. There are quite a few little bits. I put all these smaller bits on, like the lights and identification disc, but I leave the mirrors off because they are very, very delicate. And but mind you, when they are on and you're finished, they do look extremely good. Front and back axle, all separate pieces. Some people find this a problem. I don't. All I say is just be careful when you actually use your sprue cutters, your side cutters or whatever you want, that you don't go too close to the top of this, because it does leave a little bit of a hole. That's nothing really mega, it's not mega damaging, if you understand what I mean, but it means that if you're fussy like me, you end up having to fill it and everything else. Rack for the spare wheel and petrol tank. We're onto the chassis here. Chassis always go together really nice. Haven't got no problems with the chassis at all. They're all nicely detailed. Putting your leaf springs on, and back axle, front axle, all nice and straightforward. The Bedfords are the simplest but nicest of their kits. I do like them, and they've got some new ones coming out soon, and I'm looking forward to them as well. Engine holes looks good. You can dress these up really nice. It's a shame though that you can't see them because the style of the vehicle, the engine is virtually in between the driver and the passenger, so unless you're going to do a lot of modification on it, you don't actually get to see the engine, which is a shame. Storage boxes, they go normally underneath along the side. Right, we're moving on. This is just sort of like a basket that normally goes on the back, I suppose, just for putting in camouflage netting and stuff like that. I don't really know what it's for. Right, the deck at the back, because this is like a radio truck. All these bits all go together nicely, so you shouldn't have no problems at all with it. It has got some interior, which I would say through these windows you should be able to see a bit, but what I normally do is sort of like put them together and just have put the roof on and have a peer to see what you can see. And if you can see quite a bit, well, go ahead and get everything painted up and put the dials on. But if you can't see it, I don't believe in doing it. So, but it all looks extremely nice put together there. We've got some of the cable rolls at the bottom there. They look like two-piece. I might change them when I come to do mine. And as you can see, it looks pretty good actually. I like these drawings. It virtually shows you what your kit's going to look like before you finish it, and I like that. Ladder at the back, some brackets. I don't know what they're supporting. We will find out, but that all looks all nice. And as you can see on this drawing, the separate units, you put them all together to make your unit, and how you've got your kit. These are really nice. I haven't got no problem with it, and if it turns out looking like that, I'll be more than a happy chappy. As you can see, look, I mean the underside of that, I don't know if you can see. Can we get that too far up? The screws are squeaking. I mean, what you see on there is what you actually get on the kit, and it is very well detailed. I mean, you could always stand that on a mirror to show off the underneath, which would be quite a nice idea. I'm just going to take it back up again. There we go. So I don't know what sort of regiments these are, because like I say, it is in Polish, which I can't read. It would be nice to find someone who can read Polish, and it would be nice to do a little bit of translating at some time. But it's the, what is it, olive drab. But I keep going, I quite like this camouflage pattern. I think they call it the Disney pattern because it looks like Mickey Mouse's ears. So I might even do that when I do this one. I probably will. I might give it a go because I quite like that, and it's a bit unusual. That one's just a plain one. Right, that's the workshop manual done. I will undo these bags, drop the camera down, and we'll have a look at the parts. Right, the first two sprues we're gonna go through. These are the chassis and cab. Now these are standard in all their kits. This will, you know, whichever Bedford you buy, whichever kit, you know, Bedford or whatever make, this is you get two of these sprues and they're standard, so they're exactly the same in all the kits. It's just you get an extra two sprues with whatever's going to go on the back. So I mean, I've seen these so many times, but they're nice and clean. The parts are clean. The parts are well made. They're nicely detailed. So these springs look nice. They look really nice when you get a little bit of a wash on them, get a little bit of rust in the actual leaf springs. They look really nice. You can actually make the chassis really look smart. I've done a couple. They're all, you've got some metal texture on it, but they're all nice and clean. There isn't no problem with them at all. All the detail is nice and clean. It's like that, the back, I don't know if they call it a firewall or the back of the cab. It's got the panels recessed in, all nicely done. The only thing that would have been nice with these if there had been a little bit of photo edge for the actual front grille. I think that's the only complaint I've got about these. But there again, for the price of these, you know, they are very, very good value for money. Well, in my books, and also they're well engineered, they're well put together. So for the cab, the roof. Well, sorry, that's the back panel. But I mean, the detail, you've even got the little slide back hatch. You know, for the price that you pay for these are extremely good value, and I would recommend them to anyone. I would. I say I've done a couple now. I've got a couple more can be on the go, and they are just nice kits. And the wheels, two part. These go together lovely. They really do. Just check to make sure you got no little bits of plastic. They will go together lovely. They will sand down. You will not see the seam. But they are, when I turn it over, they are set. There are two little bits that you actually must get lined up for it to click in, and it's corking. I'm quite happy with them. Right, we've got all the engine parts here. We've got the manifold. I can't remember what that bit is for, but top of the radiator. We'll get the prop shafts. There's the front of the radiator, engine block. We've got the fuel tank there, we've got the brake drums, steering wheel and the dashboard. I mean, they are well detailed. I mean, if you really want to, you can take a bit of time and sort of really detail the inside out. It's all there for you. It's down to you, you know, how far you go. This is the chassis, nicely made. There's nice detail on it. Right, that is the actual lorry itself. And now these bits are the actual radio shack that goes on the back. And as you can see, they're nicely detailed. What more could you ask for? Unless you were going to start counting rivets. But if you're going to count rivets, you can easily plane them off and stick the correct amount on. There may even be the right amount. I don't know, because I don't count them. As long as it looks right to me, it is right. Everything nice and clean. I mean, they've got some lovely detail on the radios and that. And to be honest with you, you'd be hard pushed to get that sort of detail on a Tamiya kit. Not as if I would buy many Tamiya kits. I'm not a Tamiya kit man. My friend Steve he likes Tamiya kits, and it's like I said to him, well, everybody's got their own tastes, and if everyone liked the same thing, it'd be a rare world. But everything looks nice, even the doors really do look nice. I'll have to find a different word to nice. But there's no flash. All the injector pins are in places that you're not going to see, that you stick something on. I found that with all their kits. They're pretty well thought out. And the back, all nicely done. The moulding details, all nicely done. And that's going against the cab. The back half, the vents are nicely done. I'm not quite sure what they are. They're going to be some sort of poles for putting the TV cables, radio, telephone. There we go, telephone. It's been that long since used a landline. All nicely done. All nice and clean. Did I do that side? I did. Yes, I did turn it over. Onto the roof, which is really is nice then. Really. Really nice detail. Going on. There's some brackets. Now, these are the bits I might change. They've got imitation cable on it, and they're these are the ends. So I might just sort of do something and wind them with a bit of cable to make them a little bit more realistic. But all in all nice and clean. No flash at all. I mean, I suppose if we really get to nitty picky, we could go extremely close and might find that microscopic bit, but I don't go to them, because everything I do, when I cut it off, it all gets sanded. Well, a light rub down with the sanding stick. That's part and parcel of being a modeler, is to do that sort of thing. Nicely done inside. I don't know how much of the interior you're going to see through the windows. That will be something to find out. But to me, that's all nice and clean. And that last large sprue. And we have now clear parts, which I'm not going to bother taking them out because clear parts are clear parts. You know, how do you check the quality of a clear part? I suppose if you start putting it against different bits and pieces, but I think you can be a little bit too anal over that sort of thing. Right, decals, decals, transfers, stickers. I don't know what regiments are on here. Can't tell you that, but if I leave it in shop there, and if you want to try and work out what they are, quite you can go off and do it. So that is everything in that box, and that's another Bedford. There will be some other ones coming up. That is the end of the Bedfords actually. So thank you very much for taking the time and having a look, and I'll see you on the next one.